Pero syempre, minsan nakakainis din. But you know, pag nalabas ko na yung inis, parang, that's it. But why would I store it, diba? What for? Busy pa ako sa labada ko.
Much has been said about politicians in the Philippines. Love them or hate them, it takes a lot of courage, resilience, and a thick skin to be in Philippine politics. In the face of harsh criticism, personal attacks, and even hate directed at their loved ones, they are forced to hold their head up high, keeping professionalism above personal emotions. In this episode, we take a deep dive into Senator Nancy Binay's life outside the Senate. She explains how she has maintained her resolve even when people's actions and words become hurtful. Outside the chaos of Philippine politics, we get to know the woman who faces an even more daunting task, running her household in the midst of a pandemic. Tell us muna where we are and, you know, explain the surroundings.
Okay. So we are in Antipolo. It's my in-laws. Well, it's my mother-in-law's place.
Ganda.
Thank you.
I heard na dito nag-propose sa'yo si Pepito.
Yes, yes. Dito siya nag-propose sa akin. Kailan ba yun? 21 years ago. We just celebrated our 20th anniversary during the lockdown.
What did you do?
Ano ba ginawa namin? I couldn't. Kumain lang kami sa bahay.
Oo, parang the days just melt into each other.
Yeah.
Parang you lose track in a way. Paano siya nag-propose?
Actually, I knew na before kasi parang it was a set-up. Kasi yung mother-in-law ko really liked me. So, alam ko na meron na akong engagement ring. Kasi yung story namin,
sige.
I met him. Well, we met each other because our moms. Kasi yung mommy ko mahilig din sa halaman. Tapos yung mom niya mahilig. So, parang we saw each other sa Ikebana show ata.
Abroad?
No, here.
At
the beginning. Sa Ikebana, and then after that, I think sa show ng Philippine Orchid Society. Tapos, sa isang trip, niyaya ng mom niya yung mom ko to go to Florida. Kasi there's this yearly show in Fort Lauderdale kung saan yung mga bagong plants, yung mga bagong philodendrons, dun ini-introduce. And then you can get the liners there. So niyaya ng mother-in-law ko yung mommy ko. So kasama din ako, di ba? So siguro natuwa yung mom niya na magaling ako magbalat ng halaman. So siguro naisip niya, parang bagay to sa anak ko. So yun na, and then parang we would see each other.
So it's a good, I mean, she liked you first before he did. Tama ba yun?
Yeah, I met them all first. Parang napagplanuhan kami.
Ganda ng garden niya, no? I mean, this is a labor of love. Was it like this na when she was alive?
Yeah. So dati meron pang dati may greenhouse dito eh. Kaso
of her
lang,
plants.
kasi nga, di ba, bundok. So yung water, pinapump pa up. So she decided, dahil may spring water sila sa baba, tsaka may waterfall. So binaba niya yung plants niya dun
yung greenhouse nandun.
Dun sa baba, para mas malapit dun sa water source. And nagka-landslide after she passed away. So, hindi na.
You don't see yourself like taking over this place and making something out of it.
Sa kanila to.
How did you manage for the ilang months na walang help?
Since August, wala kaming
Wala. Kayo lang talaga.
Yeah, kami lang. Kaya parang I couldn't afford to get sick. Kasi nga, there's nobody in the house to take care of the kids. Kaya ingat din ako.
Kasi you had to juggle your job. You were hearing.
Well, kasi siguro it also helped there was a certain period during the lockdown, naka-break kami.
Tama.
I think yung March to
July, bago mag-SONA.
Bumalik kami after Holy Week. I think May we went back.
Okay.
So, medyo magaan yung load ko.
So, paano? Tell us, paano ang typical day?
So, like, a typical day for me would be, may weird din kami ng husband ko. You would wake up, para kami may jet lag. So, like, 3 in the morning, gising na kaming dalawa.
Ha?
So, we would have coffee.
At 3 in the morning?
At 3, 4 in the morning. Tapos, pag medyo may ilaw na, akit na ako din sa deck to water the plants. Newfound friends ko, yung mga ibon. Lahat sila naglabasan.
Tama. Parang, because healthy yung hangin.
I guess. Amazing. I guess siguro yun yung advantage of the lockdown. So yun, I'll water the plants and then sort the laundry and then maglalaba na ako. Tapos my husband would prepare breakfast.
So talagang naglalaba ka? Although, of course, washing machine na yun.
Washing machine. In fact, in my house, my laundry area is on the same floor as our master's bedroom. Kasi talagang hilig ko. Ako talaga naglalaba kahit may katulong kami. Well, I do the washing machine.
It's therapy for you daw?
Yes. Yung sorting, and then, pati sampay. Kasi hindi ko naman lahat dinadryer, di ba? I enjoy doing it.
I guess it's a time when you can parang tune off or...
Well, kasi nung kami din naman mag-asawa, when we were newly married, we didn't have a maid and a yaya with our firstborn. So, kaya medyo gala tong eldest ko eh. Kasi, syempre wala kami katulong, di ba? So, if we had to attend a wedding or
kasama
whatever.
Siya?
Oo, may bit-bit akong stroller.
So, parang belief mo na kailangan hands-on ka in raising your family?
Yes. Para kami, nung nagpatayo na kami ng bahay, ang unang requirement was, kaya nating linisin tong bahay na to pag wala tayong katulong. Kaya it wasn't difficult for us kasi nga the house was built na kaya na kami-kami lang.
You're very practical, ano?
Yeah. I think.
I mean, who would think of that? Kailangan yung bahay madaling linisin. Parang ang iba yung iisipin, yung your dream house,
No, sa akin, yun. Yung kayang linisin yung bahay. Plus kasi, I guess it helps my husband then more or less grew up in the States. So, sanay din siya sa
parang do it yourself, DIY.
Yeah. Actually, kailangan ko natuto naglaba dahil sa kanya. Siya nga nagturo sa akin kung paano mag-load sa washing machine.
You don't iron them naman.
Well, during the lockdown, syempre walang plancha.
Yeah.
That is not my expertise. Sa kanya yung, magaling mag-plancha yung asawa ko eh. In fact, when we go abroad, siya taga-plancha ng damit ko. Kaya ang joke was, sinasama ko siya during the campaign para mag-plancha. Pero issue sa asawa ko, nung tinuruan na daw niya ako maglaba. Hindi na niya pwedeng galawin yung labada namin.
Gusto rin ba niya?
Minsan,
nakakatawa naman kayo, nag-aagawan kayo sa labada.
So, minsan ko siya niya maglaba, parang naiinis ako pag ginagawa niya.
Kasi domain ko to.
Yeah. Kaya in fact, during the lockdown, because I don't know how to cook. Sabi ko sa kanya, baka it's a skill that I can learn during the lockdown, diba?
Ayaw niya.
Sabi niya, ayaw ka tuturuan kasi baka pag marunong ka lang magluto, hindi mo na ako papapasukan sa kusina.
When mo sinisingit yung tutoring the kids?
So now na they're back kasi school started na. So ang routine ko ngayon, I have to wake them up ng 6 o'clock in the morning. Kasi 7:30 yung class nila eh. So yun that's the new routine now.
Sabi mo to coop, you were able to, marami kang gadgets. Ano yung pakikwento naman yung mga na-acquire mong mga...
So parang sa atin, bigla kami napabili ng steamer.
Pang steam
ng furniture.
Akala ko pang steam ng chicken or what does that do to clean?
It's supposed to disinfect now, get rid of the bacteria and the virus sa cortina.
So ginagawa mo rin yun?
Hindi pa nga eh.
Okay.
So, siya. And then we got the vacuum cleaner then, na parang personalized. And then, so yung latest toy namin is this Xiaomi na robot na you just turn it on. Tapos siya na yung...
Ay, yung umiikot.
Yeah, very effective.
Yung sa floor, yung bilog.
Yung bilog.
Yeah, meron
It
ako nun.
works.
Yeah.
Convenient kasi wala nga kaming katulong.
Sino ang may lahi ng twins?
Hindi nga namin alam eh.
Nagka-twins ka bigla?
No, gulat yan.
Not even the family of
Well,
your
meron siyang
husband?
second cousin ata na twin.
Nasa family niya.
Pero malayo. Hindi kami prepared for twins. In fact, nung first ultrasound ko, isa lang eh.
Talaga?
Isa lang, and then the mom got sick. So, hindi na ako nakabalik ulit.
So,
when she passed away, doon na lang ako ulit nakapag... Sabi ko, very tragic kasi on the first day that I found out na I was pregnant again was also the day that we found out na she had cancer.
What was the cancer of your mother-in-law?
Leukemia. Bilis, ano lang siya. She had slight fever, parang sinisinat. Tapos nagpa-check up kasi she wanted to go to the States. Tapos yun na, hindi na siya nakalap.
How old was she?
She was 76.
Bata pa, no?
76, 77.
Young.
Pero at least she knew na I was pregnant. Tapos nasabi pa na. Kasi kinukulit niya kami noon eh. Parang, bakit dalawa lang ang anak niyo? Kaya niyo naman mag-anak ng madami. Ganyan, di ba?
Kasi
parang,
sila, 8, no?
Oo, sila 8. So parang okay na kami din sa dalawa. So when she passed away na, went back to the doctor. Parang, bakit naging dalawa bigla yan?
Were you afraid na, di ba maraming senators kasi na nagka-COVID, di ba? Did you have that fear na ba?
I remember, I was kami ni Sherwin yung first
oo
quarantine.
Nga. Pero quarantine, you didn't get it.
I didn't get it. But kami
you had to because you were exposed.
That probability that I would get it. Kami ni Sherwin yung una.
So how was that na nga for you?
Hard. It was very hard. Kasi, March 11, nag-quarantine na. Hindi pa nagla-lockdown. Nag-lockdown kami dalawa ni Sen Sherwin. And it was my daughter's birthday ng 12. So, hindi ako kasama din sa birthday celebration niya. I was by myself in the room. And then, actually, swerte ako eh. Kasi, nung last day, I think it was a Wednesday, ang kasama ko, last day namin sa session yun eh, ang kasama ko nagkukwentuhan sa lounge was Sunny and Coco.
Who both were positive.
So kami nagkukwentuhan. In fact, topic then was yung anesthesiologist kasi manganganak na nga. During that time, malapit na manganak yung
asawa ni
Coco. So ang topic was the anesthesiologist, yung mga tips and stuff like that. Diba? So Sunny, Coco, and me, kami yung matagal na nagkukwentuhan dun sa lounge.
And medyo close quarters.
Yeah, kasi nga,
lounge
wala pang mask noon. Kasi hindi
Yeah.
pa naman ganun kauso yung
Yeah.
COVID that time. So yun yung 3 o'clock yun, yung before our session. Tapos sa gabi naman, nagkaroon kami ng dinner. Ang kasama ko naman sa dinner was Migs and Sunny na pareho na naman nag-positive, di ba? So parang,
so magaling ang immune system.
I guess, baka swerte lang.
Pero you're strict when it comes to no, yung going out, you don't really go out.
No, I don't go out.
This is an exception.
Yes.
Kaya we're so thankful.
I think kasi, di ba, parang hindi na rin healthy na we're stuck in the house.
Yeah.
And for me, parang sinasay ko na rin yung sarili ko na this will be the new normal We need to learn how to live with the virus.
You have to learn how to go out safely.
Yes. Kasi it's there and hindi ka naman pwedeng nakakulong forever.
Yeah. Hindi ka ba pumuti sa loob ng bahay?
Parang pumuti. Niloloko ako ni Sen Bong Revilla kasi I had to go to work. I think Bayanihan 2 ba yun? I had to attend the session and then the start of the
Sauna.
I did
Opening of
attend
the session.
Opening of the session. So yun yung twice na I went back sa Senate. Niloloko ako na parang pumati ka na. Pero baka hindi din masyado kasi nagdidilig ako sa roof deck.
5:30 naman ng umaga.
Yeah, pero minsan maaraw na din.
Yeah.
Lalo na nung summer.
Yeah. That's a unique gift na you have, no? Yung pwede mong pagtawanan yung sarili mo.
Ayun. Yeah.
Hindi mo, yung unang bugso ng mga ganong jokes, memes, and everything.
Ay, kasi siguro sanay ako. Kasi,
maliit ka pa ba? Were you teased na ganon?
No, not that. But kasi diba, you with my dad.
Ah.
It was always, his color was always an issue. And then I grew up na pag nagkakampanya, he would always make fun of his color. So siguro parang
it wasn't, hindi na big deal.
Yeah.
You even have that book, di ba?
Yeah.
I was trying to buy now. Sold out, ah.
Talaga? Talaga?
What made you do,
Wait, well, I have two books eh. Kasi the other one
okay,
was,
yung Charcoal Confessions lang ang alam ko. What is...
The other was, talent na din ako ng ABS-CBN Publishing.
Oo nga!
So it was a collaboration between me and this blogger, si Senyora. So Make Love Not War. Kasi siya ata yung #1 basher ko online.
Oh, ganon.
So,
tapos,
kaya ang title ng book was Make Love Not War.
You collaborated even if she was bashing you?
Yeah.
How was that?
Yeah.
You met her, of course.
No. Kasi parang yung nakatago siya dun sa Senyore.
Okay. So, hindi mo rin siya kilala kung sino siya.
Pero so, parang we were just
emailing.
Parang this is my side of the book and then ito yung side of the book niya. So, parang may tips. Iba yung treatment niya. Kasi ako yung treatment ko, nice. Siya yung may pagka...
Mataray.
Brutal.
Yung ikaw, you just meet criticism with jokes lang.
Jokes or... Hindi naman, well...
May konting katarayan rin, pero funny. Paano ba? Paano?
Or minsan di ko lang pinapansin eh.
So naaasar sila lalo, di ba?
Yeah, I just let it slide, di ba?
What has been the most hurtful na nasabi sa'yo, na medyo nasaktan ka?
Di ko kasi tinatandaan eh.
Talaga. At hindi mo rin tinitignan siguro, no? Do you have staff that monitor social media?
No, ako, I read. Yung iba nga, sometimes I would laugh. Kasi talaga nakakatawa naman yung way they said it, right? Pero syempre, minsan nakakainis din. But pag nalabas ko na yung inis, parang, that's it. But why would I store it, diba? What for? Busy pa ako sa labada ko.
Iba yung naging stature mo no? You began national agad.
Oo nga hindi ko rin nga alam eh. That's the $1 million question na parang sabi ko, kasi wala naman talaga sa career path ko na magiging politician ako or in politics or public life. In fact, parang I value my privacy so much. Tapos ako pa yung naging public figure na weird. Na parang hanggang ngayon napapaisip ako na parang anong nangyari.
Talaga? After 2 terms?
After, yeah. Because, di ba parang sanay ako na, like in college, I would drive myself to school. In fact, nung may asawa na ako, ganun din. Walang pumapansin sa akin. I can go to the mall wearing slippers and because I was a nobody. Ngayon, hindi na pa, minsan, I have to, my husband has to remind me na parang, hello, hindi ka pwede lumabas na ganyan. Or my kids would say, Mom, are you sure you wanna go out like that? Baka may magpa-picture sa'yo, or hindi ka ba mag-aayos ng konti?
Bakit? Kasi anong ayos mo?
Wala. Shorts or parang, I guess.
Whatever's comfy.
Yeah.
Duster, hindi naman.
Hindi naman. But shorts, di ba? Dati sanay ako nalalabas ako shorts, slippers. Pero ngayon, parang you have to be conscious na paano nga kami magpa-picture sa'yo tapos ganun yung itsura.
was amazed na kwento mo kanina, you would wait for your kids in Jollibee for 2 hours.
Yes, in Green Meadows.
Yeah.
Just, wala. Observing lang people passing by.
You
Parang
didn't
ano yun?
feel na parang nakakabagot mag-antay?
Hindi naman. Nag-enjoy ako. I like people watching. I guess siguro yun yung isang skill that I have. And parang during the time na I was anonymous, I get a better feel of what's happening. Kasi nga, di ako kilala eh.
Yeah. You can be invisible.
Yeah, and then they can be themselves without pretending. Kasi nga, porket senador ka, anak ka ng vice president, anak ka ng mayor. Walang ganon. Because they don't know me.
Pwede itong tourism destination, no?
Kinukuha kang pipisa, parang bakit nawala na yung bundok doon?
Are you your father's daughter or your mother's daughter?